This is Sweden, the land most famous for its red cottages nestled into the picturesque landscape, the infectious pop music of ABBA, delicacies like cinnamon rolls or Joneström, and revolutionary companies like IKEA, Spotify or Volvo. But beyond the cozy clichés and picture-perfect Pippi Longstocking landscapes, there's a celebration that captures the very soul of Swedish summer. It's a festival where the sun barely sets, wildflowers crown every head, and entire villages in the otherwise quite sleepy countryside come alive with laughter, song, dance and ancient rituals. This is Midsommar. A tradition older than the nation itself and a window, a little glimpse into Sweden's relationship with light, nature and community. Today we're going to explore the history of these ancient traditions and why, if you ask any Swede, it is more important than Sweden's national day that is only a few days prior. Midsummer always falls on the summer solstice, meaning the longest day and shortest night of the year. But the tradition of celebrating that day is much older than Sweden itself. Archaeological evidence shows that as far back as 10,000 BC, ancient cultures observed and celebrated this celestial event by building monuments like Stonehenge or the Swedish Allestena to honor this life-giving power. The Celts honored the sun god with bonfire, symbolizing fertility, protection and a good harvest. Even in ancient Rome, the festival of Fors Fortuna brought crowds to the riverbanks for rituals. But especially in the Germanic and Scandinavian world, summer solstice became a very important day. For Norse pagans, the solstice was a time of joy and reverence, far removed from the dark days of Scandinavian winter. Communities gathered for lively dances, feast and the lighting of big bonfires to drive away the darkness and evil spirits. Flower crowns woven from medicinal and magical plants were worn for luck, protection and fertility, and the night was considered especially potent for love spells and divination, but more on that later. The festival eventually became intertwined with Christian traditions, most notably the feast of St. John the Baptist. But, as so often with Christian celebrations, the core rituals remained to this day deeply rooted in pagan history and tradition. Here in Scandinavia, these ancient traditions gradually transformed into what we now recognize as Midsummer. And while the details and interpretations might have shifted over time, the essence of Midsummer very much endures. A festive tribute to nature, light and community. One of the most recognizable symbols of modern Midsummer was likely introduced from the Germans in the Middle Ages. The Maypole. The Maypole, known in Sweden as Midsommarstång, stands tall at the heart of midsummer celebrations. Its leafy frame and fluttering ribbons instantly recognizable. But where did this tradition begin and how did it become such a powerful symbol of Swedish summer? Historians trace the origins of the Maypole dance back to ancient Germanic pagan fertility rituals. In these early ceremonies, people would dance around the living tree, celebrating nature's renewal and the promise of new life. Over time, the living tree was replaced by a tall wooden pole, often decorated with flowers and ribbons. While much of Europe celebrated the Maypole on May 1st, May Day, Sweden's unique climate and calendar shifted the tradition to coincide with the height of summer, when the landscape bursts into bloom. The symbolism of the pole itself has long been debated. Some folklorists suggest it represents the world axis connecting earth and sky. while others see it as a remnant of Germanic reverence for sacred trees, echoes of ancient cosmological beliefs like the Norse Yggdrasil, the world tree. In Sweden, the maypole's design varies by region, but the most common form features a crossbar and 2 rings, often interpreted as a blend of pagan and Christian symbolism. By the late Middle Ages, Swedes were raising and dancing around the Midsommar pole, decorating it with flowers and greenery, making even the building and decoration part of the communal experience and tradition. Now, we covered the more obvious midsummer traditions like bonfires, erecting and decorating the maypole, dance and song. But there are more traditions that might not be as well known today as they were in the times of our ancestors. One tradition like that is for young women to gather 7 different wildflowers in 7 different places in complete silence and place them under their pillow in the midsummer night to dream of their future partner. Since I'm neither a woman nor single, I don't really need to do that. I'd rather give the flowers to my wife. Another of these ancient rituals was walking barefoot in the dew at dawn. It was believed to bring good health, vitality and fertility for the coming year, as the dew was said to be charged with the heightened powers and energies of nature at this special time. Some even bathed naked in the dew, hoping to absorb even more of its mystical properties. And no, I'm not gonna film that. Today, midsummer is a vibrant blend of old and new. The maypole still rises in village greens, wildflowers are still woven into crowns, and children still hop around to små grodorna. Yet, the festival has embraced modernity. Urban parks now host public celebrations, and families gather from all corners of the country. Sometimes even over video calls to share in the joy. The magic of midsummer persists in the details. The silent picking of wildflowers, the barefoot walks through the dew-soaked grass, the hopeful dreams of love and luck. Even as Sweden becomes more urban and globalized, midsummer remains a cherished anchor, a moment when time slows and the connection to nature, tradition and each other feels as strong as ever. In a world that often rushes forward, midsummer invites us to pause, to celebrate light and life and to remember the stories that have shaped us. Whether you're dancing under the midnight sun, sharing a meal with friends or simply dreaming with wildflowers beneath your pillow, you're part of a living tradition, one that continues to bloom year after year in the heart of Swedish summer. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe.